Here is your news for Tuesday, February 17th. Now, this first story, I saw the video soon after it happened. In fact, I saw two different angles of the video on Twitter soon after it happened. And I'm talking about the shooting at the high school hockey game in Rhode Island. The video is so disturbing to see these hockey players racing to get off the ice after hearing gunshots, to see people diving into the stands, screaming. It is just a scene that we have watched over and over again. And I know you're going to have people who say it's because the gunman was transgender. The gunman was a narcissist. The gunman was, sounded like abusive. The gunman had a Nazi tattoo on his arm. And the daughter said mentally ill. And clearly, the victims were Rhonda Dorgan and Aiden Dorgan. Robert Dorgan, 56, then fatally shot himself. Rhonda was his ex-wife, Aiden his adult son. She wounded 3 other people, including his former mother-in-law and father-in-law. This is so effed up on so many levels. The Dorgan family was in attendance, including dozens of other families, for senior night, where the teenage son of Robert and Rhonda was going to be honored during the game along with other players. So maybe the issue is a mentally ill person shouldn't have had a gun. And I know people are immediately going to go to the transgender. I'm not even going to argue with people about this. No students or players were injured in the shooting. The real issue here is the trauma that not only the son, who was his senior night, but also the rest of the families and the people in that community. It's unbelievable. 10 skiers are unaccounted for after an avalanche struck near Lake Tahoe today while heavy snow fell in the area. The group of skiers, which included 4 guides and 12 clients, were in the Sierra Nevadas Castle Peak area. I guess it's in a place called Truckee, California, when the avalanche erupted at around 11:30 a.m. So apparently the area they were passing through has numerous avalanche hazards to the point where they carry shovels just in case this happens. I'm a solid no. You want to go for a walk? Sure. Do you want to go for a walk where you might get killed? No. Same thing goes for skiing. If I have to bring a shovel just in case there's an avalanche, no thanks. If a buried person is not dug out within 10 to 15 minutes after one of these avalanches, survival drops off pretty quick. And the problem right now they're facing is that the conditions still are pretty bad. And there, in fact, is an avalanche warning in effect through Wednesday because of the snowfall. And once again, the site is remote and rescue workers are having a hard time getting to them. Update on the Nancy Guthrie story. Police in Arizona say family members of Nancy Guthrie, that's the mother of NBC Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, they say that family members have been cleared as possible suspects. In the beginning, people were saying, listen, they were focusing a lot on the sister Annie and her husband. They towed her car. The brother-in-law was one of the main suspects. Well, now they're saying, nope, they're completely innocent. The 84-year-old was taken from her home. We're going on now 3 weeks. They found blood on the porch. They found a video camera was taken, and they found the footage on there. They saw what they believed to be the person who took her, who he wore a mask, gloves, and backpack. They did say that a glove that was found 2 miles away did not have matching DNA from the DNA found in the house. And remember, police said they found 16 gloves in the area because investigators just, when they're done with their gloves, they just chuck them on the ground, apparently. They also have said that they believe the suspect bought the mask and backpack at Walmart. So they're contacting stores. They're going through surveillance footage. They said the suspect they believe is between 5'9", 5'10" tall with an average build. Again, I don't know what an average build is for a man. Just give me approximate weight. That's what I need for that average build. The FBI is using something that is really fascinating. It's called a signal sniffer device. This was developed by a cyber security expert. His name is David Kennedy. Basically, what they do is they take this signal sniffer, which I feel like there's got to be a better name, but they put it up in a helicopter. And what they're trying to do is find a match to Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. So it hunts for low power signals emitted by whatever. This time happens to be the medical device. So pretty fascinating. The Reverend Jesse Jackson, one of the world's best known Black activists who worked alongside Martin Luther King Jr., died at the age of 84. His family says he died peacefully this morning after a long journey with a progressive neurological disease. Jackson was a Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, a 2-time Democratic presidential candidate, and a mentor to many civil rights leaders. Okay, so I'm not sure what the medal count is, who's in the lead for the Olympics. I've watched some here or there. I followed a couple of the scandals with the curling, with the skier supposedly had a penis enlargement, so he could have a better distance on his jumps. Well, now we're hearing someone's having a good time because condoms have been restocked in the Olympic villages for the 2026 Winter Olympics after running out during the games. They've been doing this for years. This is what's kind of wild. Initially, only 10,000 condoms were distributed for the athletes, which pales in comparison to the 300,000 condoms that were provided for the 2024 Paris Olympics. There were thousands more athletes for the Summer Games, but still, 300,000. This you can chalk under the only in Buffalo. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you can understand. If you're not a Buffalo Bills fan, you can probably still understand. Construction has been suspended at the new Buffalo Bills Stadium after graffiti was found in secure locations. The construction managers working on this released a statement about the more than $2 billion project, saying that they found graffiti in both secure locations in both finished and unfinished areas of the stadium. And so they're investigating, and they're saying that they're trying to send a clear message to the trade contractors and unions that they have a zero tolerance policy for graffiti on their property. They say that such actions damage property, violate the law, and undermine the respectful professional environment they are committed to maintaining. And finally, a Pennsylvania couple was so happy to celebrate their 75th wedding anniversary. And they were all set to celebrate. It's a big deal, right? 75 years, that's a milestone. Ed Wagner is 95, his wife Sally, 92. Well, they were going to mark the anniversary this week until their son-in-law uncovered their official marriage certificate through Ancestry.com. So get this. These people are 95 and 92, okay? They could have hours left, right, at this point. Their son-in-law decides to go on Ancestry.com, finds out that they have not been married 75 years, but that they actually tied the knot on February 9th, 1952, meaning they've been married for 74. And instead of keeping this little secret to himself, he told them, maybe there are some things we are better off not knowing. I want to say I feel like this guy is kind of an asshole. Was that necessary? Let them think they're celebrating their 75th. Who knows if they're going to have a 76th, you dumbass. Well, that is the news for today.